Hi guys, I am going to be talking to you today about my track that comes out tomorrow, Princess Lady Serenity. It's a track that I feel I've been talking about, hinting at, and promoting for a long time now. It comes out tomorrow, Wednesday, the 24th of September. And what I'm going to do in this video is firstly explain the concept and idea behind the track, the concept upon which the track was based. And then secondly, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the writing process, the composition process, what exactly went on behind the scenes to write this track. This track took 3 years from start to completion, so it was definitely a journey. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that. So firstly, discussing what the story behind the track is. Princess Lady Serenity, what does that mean? Well, Lady Serenity is a character in Sailor Moon. Sailor Moon is something that I'm sure a lot of you will have heard of. Many of you probably really love Sailor Moon. Sailor Moon is a popular manga and anime series. It was originally broadcast as an anime, I believe, in the 90s. And the plot essentially centers around our protagonist, who is a schoolgirl. It's set in Tokyo in the 90s, and our lead character discovers that she is actually a reincarnation of a princess from the Moon Kingdom, Sailor Moon. And what happens is she encounters other girls, and they protect the Earth and the Moon from dark, destructive, and malevolent forces and entities. And Princess Lady Serenity is a character within the Sailor Moon series. I love Sailor Moon. I really am drawn to a lot of the themes within this series. The central themes, I would say, in Sailor Moon are love, friendship, empowerment, girl power, different aspects of femininity, different manifestations of femininity. What does it mean to embody girl power, community, self-identity, friendship, and fundamentally, in my view, good triumphing over evil, light triumphing over darkness. And those themes are themes that I also commonly use throughout my music. I think I've said before that really all my music, every single piece of music that I've ever written, at its core has this idea of finding the light in the darkness, whatever that means to you, whether you interpret that as finding light within yourself, or whether you interpret that as meaning finding light in a dark world. That is a theme that really runs throughout all my art, throughout all my music, and it is prevalent, I would say, in this track. So, as I mentioned, this track, I started writing it 3 years ago, and it was originally a much faster track. When I started writing it, it was originally 170 BPM. At that time, I was experimenting with different BPMs, range of BPMs, and really messing around and trying to figure out how different BPMs made me feel. I came up very quickly with one of the central melodic themes in the track. I really love the cadence that is produced, or that you hear in the chord progression G minor to E flat minor. I love that cadence. I love that sound. It's how can I describe it? I just find it very magical, very mystical, very powerful, almost otherworldly. So I knew that I really wanted that chord progression to be a feature in this track, and it is. So like I said, it was originally a much faster track, and I worked on it at 170 BPM for a long while, and then I felt that actually, in order for this track to have this message, to depict this this idea, it doesn't need to be that fast. So I basically opened the project, reduced the BPM to 150, had to make some amendments in relation to certain sounds that I'd used, and I preferred the feel of the track at 150 BPM. And actually, in writing this track, I came to a lot of realizations about how to create pace and momentum and a feeling of moving forward without increasing the tempo of the track so significantly. So the track is inspired by this concept within the Sailor Moon series. It's also very much inspired by the actual visuals of Sailor Moon, particularly the battle scenes, flashing colours, lots of different colour, lots of movement, and really this track very much tells a story. I've already mentioned that it's got a number of melodic themes. One of the ways that I love to tell stories is through melody. So this track has a lot of musical elements. It has a very distinctive piano melody, which centers around those chords that I mentioned, G minor to E flat minor. It also features, in addition to the piano, which I think is quite unusual in a psytrance track, it also features some string arrangements, which I think again is quite unusual for psytrance. But again, it also has other elements which are more typical of this genre. FM leads, abrasive textures, squelchy textures, even some lasers in the breakdown of the track. And I think all these things combined create a very spacey, galactical atmosphere. And like I said, it's a track that tells a story. It's very much got a beginning, a middle, and an end. And I think it's got a lot of momentum. And really, it's actually one of my favourite tracks that I've written so far. I feel like I say that about a lot of my tracks, but this one really is special to me. I love the entire concept, and like I said, I really love that chord progression. The G minor to the E flat minor just does something for me. So I really hope that you enjoy Princess Lady Serenity. It comes out tomorrow, Wednesday the 24th of September. It will be available to stream or download on all major music platforms. It's definitely one for the Sailor Moon fans, and I really hope that you enjoy it.